Remember when internet TV, I guess internet streaming, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon was gonna save TV, was gonna save TV from odd and like sudden cancellations, was gonna give us everything we wanted, giving us full, complete, fleshed out storytelling that was going to have the chance to actually end on a good note, to finish out its run, to do away with the way that studios have been running network television for years. Remember all that? Yeah, that was a lie. And we've learned that at this point. With Netflix specifically, it's been a lie, but it's a lie nonetheless. And here we see that The Tick, the show on Amazon that came out a couple years ago, that was actually pretty damn funny, pretty damn good, minus Patrick Warburton, has been canceled. That happened a while back, but the creators of the show were very much hoping to find a new home. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that is the case. That Tick is, at this point in time, well, he's been raided. It says here, the Tick creator Ben Edlund announced Friday the efforts to find the series a new home after its cancellation on Amazon have been unsuccessful. And here's the thing. You would think Netflix would want to pick this up because they're jumping into all this comic book stuff. Nope. Probably not. They have that weird 2-year cool-off period, and even though Amazon may not, they're not going to want to come in on a streaming competitor and get rid of it and pick it up because it doesn't reflect well on them. It doesn't reflect well against Amazon. You know what I mean? Like Amazon canceled it stupidly, in my opinion, but Netflix coming in and picking it up isn't a slight at network TV like they did with Lucifer and Designated Survivor. So this is something that's like going up against another streaming platform, which ultimately is just, you know, it's not worth it to them. They don't need to take away anything from Amazon. Amazon is like last place in a lot of designations in regards to streaming for right now. For right now, it is that way. But give it about a couple years, and it's gonna be above, I think, even possibly Netflix in regards to fan engagement, given some of the content that they're coming out with. Anyway, now he says here, after much door knocking, we have found no new home for the Tick series in this current market. Hashtag save the Tick, hashtag Luna Tick Army. I'm sorry we couldn't reward your glorious support with better news. I'm so proud of the show and the cast and the crew and the writers, and so warmed by the fans. We will look for other opportunities to continue the story with this cast, but the current series, I'm afraid, must come to an end. And, he goes on to say here, please continue to choose love and hope for good things. And I think we might as well accept it as law of the universe. When the time is right, the Tick always comes back, which is true. Whether it's the animated series from the 90s or the Patrick Warburton series from the 90s, the show has found a way to always kind of keep alive in different mediums. And you thought Amazon picking it up would have been good. What I don't get about Amazon canceling it, though, is like, why not just give it a finale? Just give it a damn finale. Just do that. And people will be okay. And this is the problem we're seeing with Netflix, and the problem we're seeing with Hulu, and we're seeing with YouTube, and we're seeing with Amazon, and we're seeing it with all these things when it comes to these shows. If you start acting like network television companies, like the network studios, the TV studios, you are going to eventually lose your audience. If you start canceling shows without giving a proper finale, you're going to start losing your audience. It's not to say don't cancel shows that aren't performing. That ultimately makes a lot of sense. But when you start canceling the shows and giving no closure, that's when it makes no sense at all, because you just damage your audience. Like, for example, yesterday, Jessica Jones, her final season came out, season 3. They knew that they were canceled after season 3, so it allowed them to wrap up the end of the series, making it a finale, making it a closeout, giving fans that type of closure to not only just Jessica Jones, but I believe the rest of the Defenders universe, which is a shame because we got a lot of seasons and the shows are all pretty good. But in the case of the Tick, they don't have that. They're just like, go. And it's not that people didn't like it. Take a look at this. This is the Rotten Tomatoes page for it. Has an average tomato meter of 95% and an average audience score of 91%. So people genuinely seemed to enjoy the Tick. They did. So why couldn't it find another home? It has everything to do with the fact that it's not on TV. If this show was on TV, if this show was on Comedy Central, if the show was on Fox or FX or something along those lines, and it was canceled, it would have a better shot. The fact that it's another streaming competitor doesn't make a lot of sense. If it didn't work on Amazon, why would it work on Netflix? You know what I mean? Like, that's not to say the show isn't good or the show doesn't deserve the chance to succeed. And I think it is dumb for Netflix to not pick it up. But we can see that because it's kind of in a vertical playing field. If it doesn't do well there, well, why not? Well, there's a reason, in my opinion. This all boils down to the fact that Amazon does not market its shows. They are terrible at marketing its shows, right? Look how long in between the seasons for The Man in the High Castle. They're just about ready to bring out season 4, which is going to wrap up the series as a whole. And the reason why they're canceling that, they canceled The Last Tycoon, they canceled Sneaky Pete, they canceled The Tick, is all because Jeff Bezos and Game of Thrones. And I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. Jeff Bezos wants Game of Thrones. And Amazon is paying out a lot of money to find that next great adaptation. And that next great adaptation boils down to 3 separate entities over at Amazon, hopefully. Number 1 is obviously the rumored $1 billion 5 seasons Lord of the Rings prequel series, which I do believe will ultimately tie into a Lord of the Rings show, followed by The Two Towers, followed by Fellowship. If our Fellowship, Two Towers return. Make sure I get that right. Or potentially even The Hobbit. I have a feeling that if the show does well, if the show brings in massive numbers, like Bezos is going to make sure that it gets the advertising to do, that is going to happen, right? I have a feeling they're going to work that deal, extend that deal, and then tell those stories in TV format, which, to be fair, as long as Jackson's movies were, and as good as the adaptations were, who wouldn't want to see that type of show brought around in that particular fashion, right? Who wouldn't want to see a season dedicated to the Fellowship as compared, or maybe 2 seasons, because it's technically 2 books, right? Or the Two Towers, or Return of the King. Who wouldn't want to see that? And if it's popular and it's bringing in money and buzz and people are talking about it, it makes all the sense in the world. You've also got The Wheel of Time, which I've talked about before. That's a 14-book series that I don't know how they're going to pull that one off, but they're investing money into that. And even right now, they're shooting the adaptation of Stephen King's The Dark Tower series, which is another massive, long-running, multi-decade books franchise that's going to be adapted into a TV series properly and not a 2-hour adaptation starring Idris Elba, which was way better than people gave it credit for, but that's not the whole point. So that's where we are right now with Amazon. They're putting all of their money in those 3 baskets. So The Tick got canned. And it's unfortunate and it's not fair and it's not right. They should give it a finale and maybe help find it a home. I do hope that there's somewhere down the road that they're able to figure this whole thing out, that they're able to come on in and give it another chance someplace else, because I enjoyed it and it sucks that it's gone. But this is a world we live in now where the streaming services being heralded as the saviors of television are not there. Now I just wait for these, next book adaptations to get huge and HBO to come out and say, we're adapting Harry Potter. That's what I expect to happen next. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, I want to hear it down below. If you made it this far, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, but if you made it this far, please type tick into the chat so I know. Have yourself a great day. Thumbs up the video and peace out.